What's up, Astro fam? I have a request video that is a bit late, so I'm sorry about that. Life's been really heavy with all this Capricorn going on. But anyways, I wanted to talk about Mars and Aquarius in the 4th house. So this is a super interesting and complex placement, and I'm going to try and break it down bit by bit so that it's easier to digest and to understand. So Mars being in the 4th house means that a lot of your energy and actions and motivations are going to be stemming from an emotional place. But because it's ruled by Aquarius, it's almost as if you're in one sense operating on a really instinctual level where yes, you have emotions and you feel them and you're taking actions on them, but you're not really consciously aware of the fact that you're doing this, or you're somewhat outside of this process looking at it and being like, oh wow, okay. So what all of that means more so is that you might not fully emotionally experience all the actions that you're taking, even though that's where they stem from, which sounds pretty confusing. And honestly, it can be. It's this constant balance of trying to logically understand why you're doing the things that you're doing, while at the same time your actions are not logically based at all. So it's best to not really overanalyze why you do the things that you do, because for the most part you're gonna do them anyway, regardless, whether you have a conscious input or not, especially with Aquarius being such a fixed sign. With Mars and Aquarius, you are going to do what you want to do, and you're going to be acting based off of what you think is right and based on how you're affecting everybody else. So your Mars has a lot of different components to it being here. There's the emotional instinctual level that I just talked about, and then there's kind of the brain-based social level where Mars and Aquarius wants to make sure that it is affecting everybody in a beneficial way and that it's giving to everyone. Especially being in the 4th house, you've got this like nurturing family sort of energy. So someone that has this placement might end up spending a lot of time, energy, and focus at home, or dealing with emotional issues, or just having people come over and talk to them and being really integrative with their social life and their home life. Mars and Aquarius has a lot of energy for communication, and this might be a placement that works from home or does a lot of work online, and is able to kind of bring their professionalism into their home to some kind of a degree. So I feel like a lot of the stuff that I said in the beginning of this video was really contradictory, and to a degree it is. Cancer and Aquarius aren't opposites, and they definitely bond with the giving nature that they both have, but in my opinion they don't really always work together so cohesively. So it's a bit of a disjointed process, and there is very much a mental and an emotional element that you use to energize yourself and to take action, and sometimes they might be on completely different levels or on completely different pages, and you might be pulled in two opposite directions. So the challenge for you really is to learn how to synthesize and I brought up Cancer because Cancer typically rules the 4th house, is to be able to synthesize your gut instincts and your intellectual power. That sounds vague, so I will try to give a little bit more detail about it. This is a really intricate placement. So a really good way for someone with this placement to capitalize on the full potential that their Mars has is, honestly, in my opinion, through charity work, or perhaps adopting animals and pets, maybe having people live with you that work for you or really help you out. There has to be some kind of philanthropic thread that ties everything together, and it should really motivate you to do something for the world, because Mars in Aquarius really wants to be a productive member of society. But when it's in the 4th house, you kind of want to do that from your home, whether that's physically making your home a structure where people can live and benefit and be provided for, or whether that is, like I mentioned earlier, working from home and just being very generous and very giving. People that have Mars in Aquarius really want to provide for others, and when it's in the 4th house, that's even more so, especially when it's over the internet or through technology and you see something that inspires you and you just feel like you want to provide for this person. It's a really beautiful energy that this placement has. In terms of anger, it's definitely going to be caused by people that are close to you almost all of the time. Family members and stuff like that who probably don't respect your boundaries or really challenge certain opinions and ideas that you have. Mars in Aquarius can be really opinionated, and they don't really want to be pushed on it. They're really open-minded. They'll hear other people's arguments, but if you try to convince them to think differently, they're gonna get really angry with you, because they're an individual and the way that they think and process and do things is something that's theirs and it's unique, and if they want to tweak it, that's up to them. So if you really push that, that could really hurt them. Or if you try and manipulate anyone in their family or their close friends, like, they will fight for you. They are a really good friend, and they will just kind of swing into action if you need them to. They also can tend to get kind of frustrated with society in general, or kind of get mad at the way that people do things. In terms of the 4th house, like, you need to be really careful about who you're living with. With Mars and Aquarius here, you're probably not going to want to live alone, because you have a very deep drive for being social and having people in your house and such like this, and hosting especially. So be really careful who you invite into your home. Make sure that they're people that you trust, who respect your boundaries and who honor your opinions and what you have to say about things. Because it can be really upsetting for you if you don't have a good home life. That's gonna probably give you the most anger, frustration, irritability. If things aren't right in your headspace, you won't be able to think if your house isn't jiving properly. But you have a lot of energy for communication, so make sure that you surround yourself with people that you have an easy time communicating with, because again, Mars and Aquarius can get really frustrated if they feel like conversations are more negative or argumentative. Like, they like a good debate, but if you're fighting verbally all the time, then that's really not nurturing for your emotions or for your soul, or anything like that. In terms of the kind of sexual desire aspects of Mars, Mars in Aquarius is really into people's intellect and people's brains and their ability to hold a conversation and their social circles and stuff like that. And especially in the 4th house, you're probably attracted to people that have maybe a bigger family or their own family already, or just a really big group of friends that make you feel at home and full of life and socializing. You're gonna want someone that can match that energy with you. They don't necessarily have to be extroverted or anything like that, because especially with this being in the 4th house for you, you kind of tend to be extroverted at home, or maybe online, and like have this kind of shy shell aspect about you. So even having someone that can like bring you outside more or pull you out of your comfort zone would be a really good match for you and get you very excited and passionate to pursue that kind of a person. But also a good partner for you would be someone that can come into your home and that can intermingle with your friends. That's going to be really important for you. Someone that gets along with your family and your close circles, and the things that you have going on. You probably would do better with someone that has not every thought the same as you, but similar opinions when it comes to things that really hit home for you, and perspectives that are really heart-based that you don't want to compromise on. Those are just going to cause a lot of problems later on in your relationship if that's not able to be fully resolved. So in my opinion, when Mars is unbalanced, one suffers depression. So wherever that is in your chart, my advice is, if you feel depressed, look at this aspect of your chart. And if you have this placement, my advice is to invite a really close friend over, to join some kind of a group chat, watch videos online, call someone, have a party. Even if you're not feeling good, once you're around other people, your Mars should kick into gear and get you up and get you feeling good and get the chi kind of flowing through your body, and lift you out of whatever state that you're in. And usually when you're depressed, the thing that you need to do is something that might challenge you, but it should really pull you out of that space. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I want to say about this right now. It's very specific and a lot of other things factor into it, but if any of you guys have this placement and have any further questions on it, or it aspects something in your chart and you want a little bit more advice, feel free to ask me in the comments. Yeah, this was an interesting one. I had never even thought about this before I turned on the camera, so I hope that some of this resonates and that the words coming through are words that need to be heard by a specific group of people. So thank you very much for listening. If you like my work, please check out my website. I have a lot of other services there that I am working on. Yeah, love you guys. Much peace.